might be incomplete.
Well, but I can play the song, I guess, at least. Let me see what you got when you see us live there. Cool. There we are. Yo, what is up? Discussions with Dads. We are pumped to be here tonight. We hope you guys are too. I know there was quite a few guys that commented on this thread, so I'm going to wait a second here, and as you guys roll in. So, those of you who are brand new to the group, let us know where you're tuning in from. Say what's up in the comments. We love to interact with you guys. We love to answer your questions, man. If you got questions on anything health related throughout the live stream, let us know. What I want you to know is, again, if you're a brand new, welcome. First of all, we do these every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do, always 30 to 40 minutes of value on the front end. At the end, we'll talk about what, a potential partnership could look like if you're needing help, if you're wanting help, if you want to take your health to the next level. But for the purpose of tonight, we're going to give you a lot of value at the front end, help you with some fitness, man. The topic for tonight is the most efficient way to lose fat without spending half your life in the gym. The reality is we work with all dudes. Those of you who have been here for a while know that. By the way, if you can hear us loud and clear, say what's up in the comments. I'm always questionable on Zoom with audio. So if you guys can hear us, drop us a comment, say what's up. So that's basically what we're going to do tonight. We're going to help you guys with some fitness. Zach and I have been at this for a really long time. And Zach and I have tried every different workout out there. Neither one of us are CrossFit guys, but we've tried a little bit of everything. I will say that I've not done a boot camp outdoors with that environment, but I've done some classes before. We have figured out what really works to get rid of the fat, add the muscle mass in the shortest amount of time so that you're not spending half your life in the gym. The reality is a lot of you guys are busy dudes, right? We know that. That's who we work with. And so the guys that come to us for help are not there to hang out at the gym. Zach and I don't even hang out at the gym, right? This is there to get our job done and get out of there because we're both dads. We're busy. We have businesses. Like it's a slice of the pie, but it's not a torture chamber, if you will. And we're going to unpack some of that for you guys tonight. So first of all, I thought I would play. I think I'm going to just do it, Zach. I think it's cool. I want to hear it. So what I'm going to do for you guys now is I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. This is a surprise. Not even Zach has heard this yet. Okay. And so I'm hoping that the volume will be good. But I want you guys to know. So I have a friend / guy in our network who is making a rap song plus a movie for our advertising. And I wanted to share that with you guys tonight because I'm pumped about the song and maybe it hits home with a few of you guys. So I'm going to play that for you now, and then we'll get to the live stream here. Hopefully you guys enjoy this shit, man. So let's all right. Oops. See if I can hear it.
Yeah.
It's time to optimize my health and invest in myself. I'm not afraid to admit that I need help. When I look in the mirror, I see an enemy. I get home from working, I don't have the energy to play with the kids, invest in my fam. Deep down, I don't know who I am. I'm supposed to lead by example. During dark times, I'm supposed to be the one holding the candle, but instead I use food as a crutch and a bottle of liquor. Deep down, knowing that I'm only getting sicker. I'm over the days that are stressy. Wanna be stress-free,
Become the best me.
Yeah, ready to eliminate doubt. When my family looks at me, I want them to be proud. It's time. I take back what's mine. And what's mine is my life, cause I've been living a lie. I know it's gonna be one hell of a ride, but it's time. I'm ready for a change. I'm tired of living this way. It's so hard cause I've been living this way for so long. Now it's time to move on. Create a new me, cause I'm the author of this book.
That's so
I'm the
dope,
star
man.
of this movie. Everything starts with a decision. Right now I decide to take back my life.
What do you guys think about that, man? Like that. I'm
That's
so
pretty good.
thrilled. I mean, was that not fire, dude?
That's pretty good, man.
Like the emotional music behind it, the lyrics, and now they're making a movie. And so once the movie's done, I'll show you guys. I'll try to post it in here once it's done. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that, man. Like that guy's got a talent like no
Joey
other,
is talented, man.
dude. And I was just when he sent it over to me, I was speechless when I heard it for the first time, because I was like, that's mine, man. Like that is for us, dude, to use on a day-to-day basis. And like, it's about us, right? It's about our business. It just feels cool, man. So anyway, let's get back to the live stream, give you guys some value tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little thing. Some of you guys might go back and check the replay just so you can hear that song again. But that'll be, that's coming on the horizon. So for tonight, we want to get into some fitness, and we're going to talk a little mindset first, because you guys know that mindset is king over everything. So with all that being said, I want you guys to know that with Zach and I, and with where we're at in our journey, we talk about this all the time. Both of us, there's not a single week that goes by where we're not we're always motivated to make every workout. We're always lacking motivation, and we want to help you cut through that. But this is not all about mindset. So we want to touch on this a little bit, because this plays such a crucial role with two people. All right. And maybe more than two different types of people, but person number one is, or man number one is the guy who has waited so long to make changes, right? Maybe you're 30, 40, 50 plus pounds overweight, and you're just slow to start, and that's okay. I was 60 pounds overweight, and I didn't do anything about it for many, many years. And so that's okay. It's not who you are. It's just where you're at. So that's type one. Type two is the guy who comes off of a holiday weekend like we just did and feels as if they gotta fix that weekend, right? And so it's this mentality, it's a toxic mentality where it almost makes fitness like a torture chamber. You start to believe that you got to work off that entire 4th of July weekend, or you start to believe that over the 50 pounds that you've gained over 3, 4, 5, 6 years, all has to come off with that one workout. And what the mentality leads to is this exhaustion, throwing in the towel after a week or two, because wow, I can't handle that. And so that's what we want to talk about, because it's such a toxic mentality to have. So Zach, let's dive into that a little bit, because we unpacked this last night for our private guys. And I think it's a valuable topic, because we did just come off a holiday, but I think it really pertains to those guys who have waited for a long time and just haven't made any changes yet.
Yeah, dude, you're right. It is. I mean, first and foremost, everything is mindset when it comes to fitness. But what the mentality that you have when it comes to working out is that you want to be working out in order to progress yourself, to better yourself, for getting that muscle stimulus to grow, right? Not to be catching up or to do any kind of making up. This is what I talked about with the guys last night. When you start thinking about, instead of working out to better yourself, you start thinking about you need to work out to torture yourself, or to punish yourself, or to make up for what you did, whatever it was over the weekend. That's when it becomes disordered. So disordered behaviors are not just eating habits. It can be with other things such as working out as well. And that's what we don't want you guys to get into. I don't know about you, Jason, but I've had previous clients before that felt so bad that they did like 1 to 2 hours of cardio per day, on top of whatever working out like they had to do, on top of starving themselves, because they felt like, because they did 1 or 2 off days, or had 1 or 2 off days, they felt like they had to just crush and kill themselves for the next 1 to 2 weeks. It's crazy,
dude. And yes. And we've got some guys in our program right now who had that mentality when they came in. Mm-hmm. But with our approach, right, it's 6 months, like take a step back and slow down, take a deep breath, because it's okay. That's not built-in excuses or built-in leverage to say, oh, okay, well, it's 6 months, I won't do anything for 3. It's not beating yourself up over one messed up meal or one messed up weekend. That's okay. And so I will tell you, and this is just, this is me being fully transparent. For those of you guys who know, or who have been here a while and know us and know what we're about, dude, that we're honest as hell and we wear our hearts on our sleeve. And I'm just going to be real with you guys. And this is not me telling you, like, I'm not telling you not to work hard in the gym, but I'm going to be real honest with you. And Justin Dunham, one of our old guys, he's the one who dropped 75 pounds in 6 months. He said this in one of his testimonial videos, and it really stuck with me, because I look back on my own journey, and there were times like when I was in my bodybuilding stage, and like that was my focus. I mean, I was in there 2+ hours every day. Zach, I know you've had some times where you're really trying to pack on mass, and that was like your main focus, kids not in the picture. Like, right. That becomes a lifestyle, right? It's totally different from what we're talking about right now. But I'm going to be honest with you. And I had to give myself a mental check last week because, dude, I'll be honest, Zach, like for the last 6 months, probably if I'm being honest, for the last 5 to 6 months, I've been in what I would consider coast mode. Like I go to the gym, I do the workout. I'm like, there's days where I go a little bit harder than others, but like, I don't work that hard in the gym. Like I don't come out of there thinking, holy shit, I just got hit by a truck. And I used to have workouts like that. And the only reason I share that is because you don't have to torture yourself in the gym. You don't have to go beat yourself up. And again, I'm not telling you not to work hard, because when I did my mental check last week, I was like, okay, it's time for me to start with the 1% mentality. I'm talking about that to our clients all the time. It's time for me to start following that, not just a couple of times a week in the gym, but every day when I go there. I'm there to get better. And so I own it, dude. It was gut check time, and I'm expecting my strength to go up now. But the only reason I share that is because we get so fixated on the workout being the one thing that's going to control everything. Well, even though we've heard over and over again that you can't outwork a bad diet, people still try to do it all the time. There's guys out there right now killing it in the gym so they can go eat a large pizza tonight. And it just doesn't work like that. And so I want to take a step back. And yes, fitness is key and or one key to what we do. But we'll get back to that in a second. I want to take a step back and look at those other 3 pillars, because I'll tell you that what I've noticed in my own life is when my sleep is optimized, when I'm managing my stress on a daily basis or an almost daily basis, I'm staying ahead of that. And I'm following my nutrition plan, like our nutrition protocol. You know how I eat. If I'm following that, I don't have to work that hard in the gym. That's the reality. Is so many guys, they think it's got to be a torture chamber. It could be a sanctuary where, yeah, you're going to be working harder than you are sitting behind a desk. But like, I don't go in there with the mentality of like, I'm going to take over the gym. I go in there to get my shit done and get out. And I'm not coming out of there again. I don't come out of there feeling like, that I can barely walk. And that's just me. And maybe that's I've fixed that and now I'm stepping it up. But I share that because for 6 months, my weight, my body fat percentage, not much has changed because I'm following the plan and I'm following the 4 pillars. It's not about torturing myself in the gym.
But that's the thing too, right? Like, it's a good example of you're still healthy. You're not necessarily trying to get bigger. You're not necessarily trying to get stronger. You're just trying to optimize your health, which is what we teach, right? You don't have to look like me. I don't have to look like you in order for us to be healthy, right? Me, I'm in a stage right now where I do push myself, right? I'm not doing no 2 hours a day anymore, like you were saying, but yeah. I definitely have. And every once in a while I will have that if I do a little bit of walking or something. But in terms of lifting weights, I don't do that because now I know better. I know that you don't need to be working out that length of time in order for you to achieve the results that you're looking for. But it's just another good example where you're just coasting, but it doesn't mean that you're unhealthy or out of shape.
Yeah. So and maybe, a lot of these, maybe coasting though, for me, that's hard work for a lot of people. Right. And that's a whole nother layer. But dude, I'll just tell you, and going back, I heard Justin's video again. He says something like, he says, I dropped 75 pounds in 6 months with these guys, but I really don't feel like I had to work that hard for it. And like, I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm taking a step back and I'm like, that sounds so profound and powerful and almost unbelievable. But again, when you align those pillars, the 4 pillars we pound the table for, the gym session doesn't need to be a torture chamber.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right, man. And it's something that we talk about all the time. Like, or I like to say at least is you train depending on how you train is going to reflect differently on how your body looks. Right. But it also has to do with what you eat and all these other things, which is a whole nother topic. But not everybody needs to train the same way. Not everybody needs to train the same amount of time. Not everybody needs to train the same amount of intensity. It's really all up to you. We're not the optimal get ripped program. We're the optimal health program, right? Yes. We just want you to get moving because there's so many damn benefits of resistance training. It's ridiculous, guys. Like, you have no idea. Not only will it help with your sleep, it will help with your bone mineral density. Damn, I can't talk right now. Bone mineral density. That's going to help combat like osteoporosis and any other kind of bone degradation. It's going to help with insulin sensitivity, guys. Yeah, there's so many. Insulin sensitivity for many men who are overweight. There's a direct correlation between being overweight and type 2 diabetes. This is just basic science over here. And working out, lifting weights helps increase insulin sensitivity. That is huge. It's not about running and jogging and doing that for 45 minutes to an hour a day. Resistance train, guys. That's going to.
I think that's the perfect time to segue into which is what we're going to talk about right now, because you know, I know that there's a lot of guys in here that get the cardio. I see a lot of guys posting their walks and their jogs and their runs and all that stuff. And I'm not going to undermine any of that, right? Like if you're a cardio guy, we got some guys like Chris K. I talked to Chris K today. Had a great call with him. He's on. So he likes to run. He likes cardio. Some people thrive off that. We had Ed. You know, Ed was a biker, an obese cyclist, right? Until he came and saw us. And literally resistance training changed his life because now he does both. And now, like, if you're doing both, you're not missing much in the terms of exercise. So I want to hit on that because you talked about bone density, you talked about insulin sensitivity, all the things that happen from within on a science level, on a cellular level, right? And so those are great things. And that's just the facts. But I also want to talk about the changes that happen to your physique because if you take two guys, right? So we all know that the inside is just as important as the outside. Really, the inside is more important than the outside. For those of you who are only concerned about vanity, man, like I'm telling you, the things that you can do for your body, the way that your body is designed to feel is far beyond anything that vanity can do for you long term. Quality of life and being healthy and reducing your health risks long term will outweigh vanity every time. I don't know, like there's not a whole lot of like 80-year-old grandpas out there walking around that women are like, man, that guy's a stud, right? He's just a grandpa. He's a cool grandpa, but he's active. He's doing his thing because he kept himself healthy, you know, most of his life. If that's you, right? So with all that being said, I want to talk about the fat loss piece because the majority of the guys in here, they want less fat and they probably want more muscle. And that's how we operate. And so let's talk about the resistance component with the muscle mass because I was talking to Chris today and like, he's about ready to move up with dumbbells. He only had 25. So he's there. And I'm like, dude, it's time. Like we got to get the resistance going. And he asked about the circuit thing last night. I think what a lot of guys don't understand is that with resistance training, there's an automatic thought that says, oh, if I'm going to lift a bunch of weights, I'm going to bulk up and I'm going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. They don't realize that that's not, there's such so much more to the process than the workout. But you know, there's a misconception there. Oh, even amongst women, but we're not talking women. So even with a lot of men out there, they're like, dude, if I lift weights, like I'm going to get all big and bulky. I don't want to be that guy. And I tell guys all the time, I'm like, dude, do you realize how long that process takes and how much calories you have to eat to even come close to getting bulky? And so I want to talk about the resistance training component of fat loss, because I think there's just a disconnect there, man. So many people think cardio, I'm going to go burn as many calories as I can and I'm going to lose all this weight. And I saw that you posted something about weight loss today. But for the purpose of this question or this topic, let's talk specifically fat loss, because I don't think guys realize how crucial resistance training is to the fat loss process. I know that there's I've seen a few guys lately that have made massive transformations and documented the entire way with not a single ounce of cardio, and went from like a 280 pound obese man to like 180 pound, like lean, ripped physique with not a single ounce of cardio. And that's what I think we need to let these guys know.
Well, first and foremost, whenever I hear anybody tell me that they don't want to get bulky, so they don't want to resistance train, dude, I like laugh, because I'm like, dude, I wish it was that easy.
Yes.
Like, there's this,
because you'd be going to the gym for 2 hours if it was that easy.
There's this thing called like natural genetic potential, where if you get close to it, it gets real damn hard, guys. I just want to let you know right now that as an advanced lifter, which myself, I've been lifting for a long time. As an advanced lifter, I have literally the natural potential to put on, if my training is right, if my sleep is right, if my nutrition is right, everything's right, I can probably put on 3 pounds of muscle mass in an entire year. I just want to start with that first and foremost. So trust me, it ain't going to happen at the rate that you want it to.
Yeah.
This is just the way it is. And it's been,
well, I'm glad you went there, because there was a bodybuilder, a guy that I used to work out with, and he was competing. And there was a couple of them that hung out at this 24-hour fitness that I was working out at. And he told me that amongst his little peer group, that every single one of them, because this is where, like, I'm a rookie, I'm a newbie. I'm like, dude, I want to stack on mass, like share your secrets. And he's like, dude, on average, the majority of us, you know, we're in the gym every day for over the span of a year. if everything is right, we're satisfied or very, very happy with a 10 to 12 pound muscle mass gain over the span of a year. And these are guys that are out there competing and taking in 6,000 calories a day. That is hard work, dude. And so I'm glad you went there.
And I'll tell you this, dude, if they're like gaining 12 pounds of muscle in a year, then they're doing a little extra something on the side too, because you can put on about 10 to 15 pounds of muscle in a year if you're like a beginner intermediate.
Yeah, that happens quick. The newbie gains.
Yeah. Newbie gains. Yeah, pretty much. So otherwise, if you're advanced, then hey, you're doing a little extra something. But anyways, back to the discussion we're talking about. So there is a difference between cardio and weightlifting. And guys, we're not trying to tell you to not do any kind of cardio, because cardio has its benefits as well. It's great for building endurance, and it's great for building cardiovascular health, your heart health. So we're not. That's
what I was going to say. Please don't leave that out. I'm the RN over here screaming, please talk about heart health here.
So we're not knocking it. We're not knocking it. We're just saying that this is not going to be the end all be all when it comes to your fat loss and your aesthetic goals, guys. So understand that cardio and weight training are two different modalities of training that serve two different purposes. Like I said, cardio, endurance, heart health. Weight training is going to be the resistance training is going to be the bone mineral density. It's going to get you the physique you want. It's going to build up the muscle mass, because you're going to have to stimulate the muscles. It's going to have to adapt and grow, and it's going to do all kinds of other things. But the reason why we want to actually work out resistance train, it's our long-term play. The more lean body mass we put on our bodies, the more calories we are going to burn at a rested state. The bigger we'll look, the more chiseled we'll look, the more defined we'll look. Like, everything is just better. It's our long-term play. If you want to say I don't know, I don't want to use this example necessarily because we were just talking about this, but say you ate, 100 calories extra than you wanted to. And if you walked 100 calories worth, cool. You kind of net zeroed, right?
Yep.
But that's just a short-term play. That's just something that's just going to get the calorie burning going. But the weight training is your long-term play.
Yep.
This is the one that over the course of time, you're going to build more and more muscle, which is going to not necessarily compound, but it's going to add up and add up and add up. So you can ultimately raise your resting metabolic rate. So someone who is the old me, we'll say the old me 4 or 5 years ago, that was like 170 pounds, is going to burn less calories than the new me at 195.
Sure.
So we'll put it that way.
No, I love it. I love it. And you brought up a good point, because you brought up cardio and we talked resistance training. And so now I want to hit on interval training, because I know that there's our guys in here. They're probably like, well, when are they going to talk about HIIT? Right.
Yeah.
We do have a question from Nick. He says, would CrossFit be both of those mixed then, and where is that exercise best put in? So Nick, I'll touch on CrossFit, and there's quite a few guys in here that do CrossFit. CrossFit is not something that I would recommend anybody over the age of, let's just say 30. That's an arbitrary number, but it would depend on the individual. But to start new, like I would never say, oh, you're 30 and you want to start working out, CrossFit's the place for you. The thing with CrossFit is there is a lot of powerful lifts, a lot of compound lifts. The issue with CrossFit, especially with muscle hypertrophy, is that you will get stronger, but there's not a lot of CrossFit guys out there. Even the elite, like gold medalists, like the top CrossFit Games guys are not that big. They're lean, they're cut, but they have to be able to perform at a high level with all of those exhaustive exercises they're doing. And so one thing that I am not a fan of CrossFit for is the mixture of the resistance training with the cardio, but all in the same workout. So when you do a very heavy compound lift, you're doing you're trying to max out or a 3-rep max, and then you go run like a sprint or 2 sprints, and then you come back and do that 3-rep max again. Like, that's a danger zone for anybody that's, got any potential issue. And when I say any potential issue, like even for me, dude, I've got an old knee that flares up at times. I played soccer for 15 years. If I go into CrossFit and my form is off one time, or my mind is not on the task at hand one time, it takes nothing for me to blow a disc in my back, blow my knee. And not only then am I out of the gym or the box, but now I'm depressed. I'm in a place of, man, like, I don't know when I'm ever going to be able to work out again. And then that vicious cycle starts. So I know that didn't specifically answer your question, but like how I would group CrossFit is you're going to get stronger. But it's going to be more about power versus muscle hypertrophy. Those guys do work out and they get really ripped, obviously. Like, they don't have a lot of body fat percentage. But what we're talking about, and the the angle on muscle hypertrophy for adding lean muscle mass so that you can burn more calories at rest, it would be more of a traditional lifting environment to maximize that growth, if that makes sense. So CrossFit can really hit both. But again, as you start to age, it's just not something that I would recommend for anybody long-term due to the risk for injury. So hopefully that answered your question, man. William, if you could provide some context on why would that happen. I'm not sure where that question got tied in, but let's talk interval training real quick, man, because a lot of the guys here, they think cardio, they think resistance training, and those are pretty clear cut, right? Steady state cardio is what it is. But I want to talk interval training because you talked about, two totally different things. And weight training, if you will, I guess scientifically, the anaerobic part of interval training, the afterburn, if you will, works very similarly to weight training. And so that is one of our go-tos for every guy we work with. They do some type of interval training. If you guys are not doing interval training right now, you are missing out on a big opportunity to burn fat quickly and efficiently while maintaining your muscle mass. Like, there's no better exercise to accomplish that individual specific goal. Resistance training, you're going to stack on muscle mass. Regular cardio, you may burn a lot of calories and it's going to be good for your heart health. Interval training is so effective at burning body fat, but maintaining lean muscle mass. Think about the body of a sprinter. You go look at any Olympic sprinter, and those guys have very minimal body fat, but are actually pretty jacked. They don't want to be too jacked because it slows them down, but they're pretty muscular, and that's because of that anaerobic effect. So, Zach, what do you want to add to that? It is such a magic, such a magic sauce for what we do. And the guys, when they get going on it, it's like, oh shit, my first interval training day. But you do 3 or 4 of those, man, and you start feeling that the afterburn, you start feeling leaner. It's like, okay, maybe it kicks my ass, but it works. So what is your take on that?
What Jason is talking about with that afterburn effect is something called EPOC. It's excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, and that's what happens when you work out at a high rate and it's kind of like interval, but high intensity, right? You work out hard, you take a little bit of a break, you work out hard, you take a little bit of a break, then you get that EPOC effect. So that is one of the other ways that you can train a little more efficiently. Again, depending on your goals. If you don't have a lot of time, that's a great way to go about doing it. Because
yes.
I do get questions about, hey, how long should I be doing cardio? Should I be doing for an hour? Should I be doing for 5 minutes? Should I be going intervals? Should I be doing Tabata training, which is extremely advanced, which hardly anybody in this group should probably be doing. I don't even do that myself. Tabata training is
no,
insane.
It's intense.
That's like the original high intensity interval training. But
yep.
But yeah, man. So it's a great way to do it, man. I mean, why would you not want to just get in that workout, get in, get out, and have a little bit of that afterburn effect, dude? I mean, it only makes sense, right?
Dude, if you're going to do cardio, so I'll just tell you guys, I got nothing to hide here. So I'm a 4-day-a-week guy. Out of those 4 days, 4 of those 4 days are always 4 days of weights. 2 days of steady state cardio. Lately, for me, that's been a walk outside, nothing more. 15, 20-minute walk outside. And then 2 days of interval training. The interval training could either come in the form of sprints outside. For those of you guys who are not in any condition to be sprinting, don't even try it. If you're 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight, sprints are not the answer for you, man. And don't even try it. Get on a bike or an elliptical and do it. And that's what I do is I use a stationary bike, or I'll do sprints because I'm in good enough shape to do sprints. It's starting to get hot here, so I'm focusing more on the indoor stuff now, but dude, a stationary bike will get the job done. Crush it as hard as you can for 30 seconds. And then with the resistance up, and then bring the resistance down for 2.5, 3 minutes and just coast. Like, that's it. Repeat that 5 times. Tell me you don't get results in the next couple months. Like, you add that into your routine twice a week. If that's all you do and you don't change anything about what you're currently doing right now, I guarantee you will lose weight. Like, you cannot add that with nothing changed, right? Don't go binge drinking and binge eating on the weekend and say, hey, Jason, it didn't work. Literally Don't change anything and add in 2 days of interval training for the next month. That's 8 HIIT sessions. I guarantee you will come back a lighter man in a month. There's no other way to put it. So
check this out, man. I see Williams. Remember when he said, why would that happen? He's like, you're like, I don't get it. He had a comment before. He says he worked out 2 to 3 hours, 7 days a week for about 5 months, and his body never changed. Why would that happen? So William, 2 to 3 hours of working out means nothing to me. it's about the intensity of the workout, not how long you were at the gym. Because I know some people that have worked out for 3 hours a day, but they're doing 10 minutes of rest between each set. So first and foremost, I'll just start with that. Not saying you're not working, but I'm saying
context.
a lot of the time, a lot of the time that happens. 7 days a week is extreme for 2 to 3 hours a day. You need to let your body recover. You got to let the ego get aside so that you can actually get some adequate rest. Because remember, the stimulus happens in the gym, but the recovery and the muscle building happens in your sleep, man. It happens when you're resting. That's when your body is allowed the opportunity to adapt and grow and recover. And 3, I guarantee you there were results that were happening, man, but you just probably didn't notice, because when you see your body every single day, you don't realize the small incremental changes that are happening. So next time, take a progress photo and then take another one next month, and then next month, and the next month. And I guarantee you that you're going to see something, man. And if
add to that some body measurements too, because one thing that we're really big on inside of Unleash Your Legacy, for you guys that are new, that's our premier partnership program. And several of our Unleash Your Legacy guys are on now. Appreciate your support as always, gentlemen.
What's up, guys?
But with that being said, man, like, that's one thing that we highly encourage all of our Unleash Your Legacy guys to do, is multiple forms of measurements. So Zach said progress photos, also weights, but dude, don't do yourself a disservice by not doing measurements. We had a guy working with us. He's still in our program, and he hit about a month and a half stall where there was not much weight loss at all. But he was crushing it in the gym, had everything dialed in. He's like, hey, man, the scale's not moving much. I'm like, okay, let's do some more measurements. He came back to our next coaching call and said, hey, man, my waist size is down 4 inches. There's why the scale wasn't moving. Well, when you change your body composition, you add lean muscle mass and you lose body fat, there might not be a huge dip on the scale. We're not looking for just weight loss here. We're looking for fat loss and adding lean muscle mass, going back to those benefits that Zach described before, dude. We want more calories burned at rest. We want more afterburn, the epoch that he mentioned. At the end of the day, man, like, that's what's important is internal health and longevity. The external results will come. It just takes time. But I will also add on to what Zach said, is that if you did, he said exactly what I was thinking, is if you worked out for 7 days a week, dude, for 2 to 3 hours, you're putting your body, you're causing a lot of stress, hence the issue that Zach mentioned with the lack of recovery. But stress comes in all shapes and sizes. Okay. You can get an injury that causes stress. You can have a breakup with a girlfriend or a wife or something, a significant other, that causes stress. You could lose a pet that causes stress. You could lose a job that causes stress. Stress comes in all shapes and sizes. There's only one hormone that reacts though, and that's cortisol. And if you're 7 days a week in the gym for 2 to 3 hours, this could potentially be what we talked about at the beginning of the live stream, with the mindset of, hey, like, I got to go in there and torture myself to get results. If that's the mentality, then you're adding a lot of stress to your body, which potentially shot up your cortisol levels, which puts you in a state of, dude, I can't, like, you're going to you're going to have a very challenging time losing body fat when cortisol levels are through the roof. And then the other piece that I will add that Zach covered a lot of good stuff, but this is another one for another angle for you, is there wasn't a lot of context in there about nutrition. And I will tell you that if that thing was dialed in, following anything that, like, what we teach, there's zero reason you would not be getting results. And I would want to look way deeper on that with blood work and really see all your progress and documentation on what's been going on, to have more context, to take a deeper look. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight, man. But those would be the things that I would think are going on most. Any other questions that you see, man?
No, I was while you were answering that, I was just answering what's it called? Rodrigo. He was asking what HIIT is. Okay.
Intentional. So yeah, Nick, I'm not sure if you were adding to a comment. Okay, yeah, you said awesome breakdown, and that doesn't mean you're overdoing it, but just making intentional, intense movements, if correct. Yeah, I mean, the thing with CrossFit, dude, it's a mind game, right? Like, going back to that, and hopefully you're clear on that. Like, if your focus is there 100% of the time, and you go in with that focus, that's the key piece, dude. You catch yourself slipping mentally in a CrossFit box, you slip a disc in your back, and your exercise game is over for a long time, man. And that's why we steer away from it.
Let me add, dude. I know a good amount of CrossFitters, dude, and I know a good amount of people who used to do CrossFit because they don't want to anymore. And the thing is, like Jason said, when you're combining heavy lifting, heavy compound lifts with essentially like sprinting
Intense
or
cardio.
running
Yeah.
fast
Yeah.
in conjunction with personal best time, that is the recipe for disaster. That is how you tear muscles. That's how you slip discs. That's how you rupture. Dude, it's just how everything gets all bad. I have friends who have blown their back out. I have friends who have torn pecs, torn biceps, both have bum shoulders, just all kind of stuff. Scrape their knee to the bone because they had to do box jumps on 36-inch boxes after they had to squat their 80% 1 rep max for 3 sets and then do 10 box jumps. So I'm not against CrossFit per se, but you have to know that, or you have to find a coach that is smart and will actually program something for you that's within your fitness level versus saying, this is the workout of the day, everybody do it. Because you're going to have people in there that's never worked out before. Then you have people in there that's been doing it for 20 years. So that's the problem that we have with CrossFit is they kind of just lump everyone together and they think that just by adding a little bit of less weight, it's a lot more safe. And that's just not the case. So I don't hate CrossFit. It's just that it could be a dangerous place. And it's proven to be a dangerous place for the people that I know. And the people I know are big lifters. They're not little, they're not newbies.
Yeah. Well said, dude. Well said. And look, I mean, I know we have a couple CrossFit guys in here. We're not bashing on CrossFit. It's just the facts of the facts, man. You're putting yourself at big time risk. Especially when you get up there over 50 and then over 60 and
or if you have one of the coaches, if you just have one of those coaches who think if they beat your ass and you're sweating like a pig and you feel like you're damn near gonna die, then they think they did a good job.
Results. Yeah.
They think that's not that all that did was like exponentially increase their risk for a major injury, which if happens is going to set you back way further,
depressed, right?
You can blow your back out. Sorry, you're gone for 5 months. You know what I mean? You tear your shoulder. Sorry, you're gone for 4.
And that's just the physical part. I'm telling you, this is where it scars you the most. Yeah. So how do we fix that? How do we answer the non-customized approach? That would be our fitness elevation method, right? We meet you where you're at. We give you a customized approach and we say, this is how we will take you to the promised land. Just stay with us, dude. We'll guide you. Right. And so I'll bring up Chris K again, because he keeps tuning in and it's giving me like nine notifications of him. So Chris K, I know you're on, so I'm going to point you out again. So I talked to Chris today and during our one-on-one. And a big part of that was figuring out what the next phase looks like for him in his fitness journey. Dude, this guy's crushing it. But he's outlifted his weights now. So next step for him is either going to be gym or getting some higher dumbbells. The reason I point that out is because every man that we work with, it's an individual basis, guys. There's no cookie cutter approach when it comes to fitness. That's just it. Is like wherever you are at in your journey is exactly where you're at in your journey, and has nothing to do with mine and nothing to do with Zach's. Zach and I are like 10 years apart and on 2 totally different wavelengths when it comes to our fitness journey. Yep. I used to work out a lot more like Zach does, but I'm a dad. I'm a family man. I got a lot of shit that I'm trying to take care of at home. I also have 2 kids instead of 1 like Zach. Like, we just different paths with our fitness journey. And I'm also a little bit older. And so my goals, like Zach alluded to at the beginning, my goals have changed. I'm in maintenance mode. I'm not trying to gain lean muscle mass. Could I be a little leaner? Sure. And that might be a thing, but I'm going to have to give up some beer, burgers, something somewhere. And I don't know that I'm willing to do that. I still got a 6-pack and I can still have a 6-pack. So I'll take that. But with all of that being said, you guys got to realize, man, it's from person to person, right? Like, your journey is your own journey. You cannot go out there and pick a cookie cutter workout online. And you could do fine with that. I'm not saying you can't. I used to do that off of bodybuilding.com and some of that. But like, if you're at a point where man, you don't even know where to get started, this tonight's training was for you. Like, it's literally take a step back. We gave you all the knowledge in terms of what works best. Like, do some type of resistance training, get it into your life. Don't skip that. If you're just doing cardio right now and you want real results, figure out how resistance training needs to get into your life. If you need help, speak up, talk to us. We're more than happy to have that conversation with you. The way that we approach fitness, again, is a fully customized approach for every single man that works with us. So with all that being said, if you loved what you heard tonight, and you'd love to speak with us. Maybe you want to hear a little bit more about what it's like on the other side over in Unleash Your Legacy. There's a guy, you guys are in a group right now, 3,500 guys. You go over to Unleash Your Legacy, there's a guys, about 45 guys. So it's just a different world. And so if that's you, if you would love to talk to us and figure out what it might look like to work together, just type the word hire, HIRE, in the comments, and either Zach or myself will reach out, or somebody from our team, to have that conversation start going. And all we're going to do is ask you a couple questions. I had a great call with a guy today from this group. And the guy had great things to say. He says, you know what? This is the first call like this I've been on in a long time where I didn't feel any pressure. I'm like, dude, that's not how we operate. It's either a match or it's not. We can either help you. And if we determine that we can help you, then we'd invite you back for a second call where we take you behind the scenes and show you exactly how everything works. If we determine that we can't help you, I'm not going to try to strong arm you. Our first call is there's nothing for sale. It's literally us asking you questions to figure out if you'd even be a match for our partnership program. This is 6 months, right? This is not 6 weeks to six pack abs. It would be 6 months for us having to work with you and you having to work with us. You got to put up with our grill for a long time. You'll see these two mugs twice a week, every single week. And so in order to have a partnership, the match has to be there, right? And so that's the reason we have the approach that we do, is because we want to make sure we can help you. We want to make sure you'd be a good match for what we do. We have a very strong culture over there. I'm not, we're not going to bring in some, crazy weirdo and mess with the culture just for a transaction. That's not how we work, guys. And so if you want to get on the phone, you want to have a conversation, we'll get you resources regardless. Whether we can help you or not, we're going to give you resources to point you forward, help you build some momentum and start making some progress. We have a ton of people in our network. There might be another coach out there that we could pair you with. Zach and I have a very, very strong network. And so if that's you, if you want to have that conversation, again, type the word hire in the comments now. If you guys got value tonight, type the word value as well for all you who are not going to type hire, or for our guys who are in there right now. If you got value tonight and you're in Unleash Your Legacy, go ahead and type value so these guys know, because the bottom line is we try to add value to both groups, but we know we really are cranking over an Unleash. We try to hold up our end of the bargain every single week here, man. So we hope you got value tonight. If you have any questions, do you have any final questions, you can drop them down below. We'll circle back and pick up some of those tomorrow. If, and Chris says, coming from a guy that loves cardio to other cardio lovers, the weights have been instrumental and not overwhelming. Literally just 4 days and 30 minutes a week of weights. And I got to spend the weekend without worrying about working out, but get additional cardio with chores. See, like, this guy has it, man. Like, Chris's mindset is so great. So cool. Well, that's what we got, guys. If you have any questions, again, drop them in the comments. Austin says, man, this was helpful. We had a conversation today in the DMs. Glad you got value, Austin. Glad you're making some progress. You're also right, Burrow. We all have a six-pack. They're just hidden. It's not all about the six-pack, though, man. Like, we're all about quality of life. Zach and I have told you guys this many, many times. The six-pack is just secondary because of us being disciplined with our health habits. That's it. We're not vanity guys. We like to look good. Both of us love to look good for our wives and look good in the mirror and everything else. But literally, it is not our main focus. It's just a secondary to showing up each and every week. You can ask the guys at Unleash too. We show up every week. They might not be there every week, but we're there. So looks like these guys got some value for sure. So awesome, guys. Well, we'll be back next week at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Take action on the stuff that we discussed tonight, man. Go get some resistance bands in your life. Go do some body weight workouts. Do something to become a better version of you tomorrow. And we'll see you next week. Crush it the rest of this week. For our Unleash guys, we'll see you on our coaching call tomorrow night. You guys have a great night.